Hi, everyone. Diane Willock, Customer Success Coach here at Supermoms in the US. And I am joined by Maria Stanford again, Customer Success Coach in the UK for Supermoms. And we're here today just to answer your questions. So if you have any questions regarding Supermoms training programs or any questions regarding Salesforce careers, we'd be happy to answer those questions for you. So please do put your questions in our comments, and we'll do our best right now to answer your questions live. And we'll talk a little bit about some of what we have going on at Supermoms right now. So Maria, I don't know if you want to, kind of start it off and maybe just talk about, what's up and coming for Supermoms in the next, couple weeks here, our next class that we have coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. So our marketing cloud deadline is kind of fast approaching now. So I think that is officially on Monday. And that really is to allow for everybody who's joined us for marketing cloud or who will over the next few days to be able to really kind of get onboarded and get set up to hit the ground running from the 27th of March. So it's really just a couple of weeks away now, isn't it, before we kick off for our next marketing cloud course. And that's actually going to be twice weekly now, isn't it? So the format has changed slightly for our 2023 course, which is really exciting. I think it's just such a brilliant course structure now where you can really make the most of that platform. So that's going to be kicking off on the 27th of March. And yeah, I think bootcamp is going to stay open for a little bit, I think all of this week. So hopefully, because people are busy, right? I spoke to somebody today and they said, oh, we haven't managed to get through to all the videos yet or all of the content. And there's been some brilliant content over the last week, hasn't there, with people sharing their experiences. So I think this group will also stay open for a little bit longer as well for people to be able to look at those case studies and all of that information. But yeah, if you want to come and join us, then I think Monday is the kind of official deadline.
Right, exactly. So yeah, definitely go through that content that we had. It was such a great boot camp last week. Again, if you're still on that discovery phase of what is marketing cloud and why would you want to learn it, we really do have some great information. You could go back and look at the videos that we had over the week, listen to some of our alumni who have taken our training course and where they're at and where they ended up after taking marketing cloud, and just understand what marketing cloud is. Again, it really is an in-demand product right now, and those skills are highly in demand because really just having that customer experience skills, right? Understanding the journey of the customer is every organization is wanting to employ people that understand that journey and know how to customize and personalize that journey. And Marketing Cloud is really good at that. So if you're still on the fence of, is this the right fit for me? Take a look at some of our content that we had over last week and book a call with Maria and I. We'd be happy to talk to you. Again, the class starts on the 27th, and we're still going to be enrolling individuals for that class, but we'd love to talk to you personally because that's where you can really find out, is this a good fit for me, right? We understand what your story is, what's your background, what's your motivation for possibly learning Marketing Cloud, and would this be ideal for you to add on as a skill set? So we'd love to talk to you. You can email us or book on our calendar. We'll drop that in the comments just so that you know how to get a hold of us, or just reach out to us on LinkedIn. So we're here to talk, here to help.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we were just saying this, wasn't we, Diane, where, I think with Marketing Cloud, there are so many different kind of scenarios that you could be coming from actually and entering into that Marketing Cloud. So when you kind of look at this information, you might have those questions about actually, where do I fit in here? Do I have the right transferable skills to go in? It's not quite as clean cut, is it? Where you're doing that career transition and you're completely changing. You will have perhaps some of that marketing background, or you might have some of that Salesforce background already. So it's kind of understanding what this is going to do to enhance, isn't it? And get that career progression.
Right, right. I think just adding on obviously adding on new skill sets. So if you're a Salesforce admin right now, and you're just thinking about what would be very marketable skills for you, adding on that, the marketing skill set and understanding that customer journey is very beneficial. So if you're at that point where you're not quite sure what your next move is, I can tell you that, learning the marketing cloud skills and what you learn in that class are very valuable for you to add on to your portfolio. So if you're really thinking about how can I enhance, my portfolio so that I'm a better candidate for new roles. But even if you're working as a Salesforce admin right now and you're looking at your career progression within your organization, this kind of makes you a better Salesforce admin, right? Learning those skills in Marketing Cloud, what you learn, it does make you a better admin, helps you to understand the business more, kind of a 360 view of the business. Everything is focused on, and we were talking about this too, Maria, that everything is focused on, the customer journey and personalizing it. We're in that world right now where that's really important. And because the online presence is so important, that, having those skill sets and understanding that user experience is really important. So it'll make you a better admin, make you better, understanding of your particular organization, and could make you a better candidate for future roles or future jobs. Or if you just have always thought of yourself as a creative person, you want to get into marketing, this might be a good, direction for you to go in. So lots of good reasons to learn it. And it's a fun class. And we've changed the format, like we said, to 7 weeks, just because we had feedback from individuals. A lot of individuals who were, wanting to take Marketing Cloud are really looking to get trained quickly. They want to learn the system quickly, and they want to get as much hands-on experience as they can. And the majority of that 7-week class, you're going to be working on the Marketing Cloud platform on the trial org and being able to practice those skills that you learn. So that's important. You'll have a lot of practice by the time you get out of that training course.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I had a really good question this week, which was around somebody that had a marketing background. And they were saying about, obviously because they know that we are one of the only few people that get access to the platform, because actually their partner works in Salesforce. So they knew that this is quite unusual to get access to the platform and be working in it. But a really good question that was asked was, once you've had access to that platform and you then finish the course and you get certified and you then go and start your job search, obviously you're not physically able then to perhaps keep practicing those skills. And it was a really kind of interesting conversation, because then I kind of said, Sheila especially, and that's the whole point of that capstone project, isn't it, of that hands-on, of being able to actually extract that information so that you've got that to hand, so that you can interview with a project that you've actually had your hands on and implemented.
Right.
So I that is a really important piece of the puzzle, isn't it? You can do it theoretically, perhaps via self-study or something like that. But actually, when you're in interview, you really need to be able to demonstrate, don't you, kind of what skills you've got.
Right. What you've done. And I think the important thing to bring up too is what's new for this next class is we've added on mentorships, for Marketing Cloud. And I think that's a key piece that we had been missing from our last course. And so we've added it on now. And that'll be another key piece of the puzzle, because even though, you've worked on the system and you've gotten that hands-on practice for a month in Marketing Cloud, you will have your mentor that is able to actually bridge that connection too. When you get out of that, to be like, they can share with you what they're doing in Marketing Cloud. So you still have some relevant information that you can take with you and new insights via your mentor. And your mentorship. So that's ultimately going to help you too in obtaining that job and in those interviews, because it's going to be very relevant and timely. There's people that are actually working on the platform that will be helping you throughout the course too.
Yeah, that relationship between mentor and mentee is really special, isn't it?
Yes.
It's such a valuable connection in more ways than one. You know, they are cheerleaders. They are going to challenge you potentially or push you, or, you know, it is more than just, you know, just having that somebody, isn't it? They are kind of by your side throughout those 7 weeks, and can
Right.
give such valuable insights, and just kind of that guidance you know, you don't get that anywhere else, do you? Unless you're actually physically working on that
Right.
cloud. So I think it's just so valuable. And I think that then leads into kind of another question that I've been asked is around actually attending the live session, because we will have a lot of people who are perhaps working full time and coming in and training in Marketing Cloud, or might have young families or have those commitments. But the beauty of it is yes, obviously, if you can come and attend those live sessions, I think for us in the UK, it'll be 7 p.m. And you know, so if you can attend those sessions live, it's brilliant, because you can start mixing with your peers, can't you? And obviously you have access to Sheila, but also the value is in the recording, isn't it? Because you might need to carve that time. Well, you're going to, because you're going to
use it anyway, probably. Yeah. Right.
You know, you're really going to want to kind of make sure that you're in there and have that time kind of completely blocked out, really, for those 4 weeks, aren't you, to get the most of it? But the value is in the recording, isn't it? Because you're going to keep going back to that, aren't you?
Right. I think that's key. I think most people, even though they might attend the live sessions, will always go back to the recordings too, because there'll be certain sections that you can go over more than once and you'll learn. So having access to those recordings is going to be great. And really the intenseness is for those 4 weeks, you know, that you're in that live org, or trial org, I should say, and doing the Marketing Cloud. So if you think about it that way, and you think about, you know, that's what you have to devote, and if you can work around it to getting those live sessions, or at least set aside that time for that 4-week period. The class is 7 weeks, but really the intense part, I think, is everybody will say when you really start practicing and doing it, and you're going to want to do more, you know, on your own, just to practice. That's the intense part. So I feel like it's great information condensed into that time frame, and then you're out of it, you know. So so everybody can devote, you know, it's easy to look at that and know that you can set aside that time and devote that time to it. So
It's a small chunk, really, isn't it? Like 4 weeks, you know, out of the 7, that's a small chunk, really, and manageable. You know, to be able to kind of get that support that you need from your loved ones or your friends to help and support, and so that you can just get your head down and make the most of that, time, because that's going to be really valuable, isn't it?
Right.
I can't see any questions that have come up.
I don't either.
For us here today.
There might be some questions later, so we'll continue to go back and monitor and ask any. And again, if you haven't booked in a time, if you're still, you know, considering it, or you know, you have a lot of questions, and again, no question is you know, is too small or dumb, right? We like to answer any question. Sometimes you might be sitting there thinking, I want to ask this question, but I just don't even know if this sounds silly, the question that I'm asking. There's no silly question. So we like to answer anything, because everybody's at a different stage that takes the Marketing Cloud course. And so, you know, you just might have a simple question, or we may have to dig a little bit further into, you know, what you're asking and what your needs are. We'd be happy to talk to you. We're very approachable. We like to talk. We love spending time with our future trainees and getting to know them. So, you know, reach out to us and make sure that you do book that call. And, you know, we'll see if this is a good fit for you.
Definitely. And just like that, we have a question.
Oh,
which is amazing. So we can definitely
within the 7 weeks are the 4 weeks of hands-on. So the second week it starts. So literally you're introduced and goes right in. So that's the best part about this course. So when we had initially, we had our 14-week course. It was a 14-week course. There's a lot of marketing theory and other stuff that was introduced. And we only did once a week live training sessions. And what we found is that a lot of people wanted to get into that hands-on portion of the Marketing Cloud right away. So that second week is when that access to that trial org starts.
Yeah. So it's straight away, isn't it, really? Because obviously the first week is introductions and kind of finding your feet. So it's straight in,
Right.
making the use of that platform, isn't it? Which is brilliant. So then you can actually plan that out around your family, and
Right.
what we were just saying about support. So if you know where that is within those weeks, you can do that and make sure that you're kind of mapping out your study time, for example, so that it's a great way to be able to kind of get the support and the help that you need within those 4 weeks to utilize it, isn't it?
I forgot about that question because I actually did have that question before, and maybe it's the same person. I don't know. We have a Facebook user, but someone that I did talk to. Yeah, that asked about that specifically for that reason, Maria, where they were planning out their weeks and when they might be able to have the most time to devote, and wanted to know, I think it was a vacation coming up or they were going to be out of town for some reason, and where that ends up, that 4-week ends up, was very important. And we went through that, and it was because it was a second week, it ended up being a good good timing. So so that's really important. And then, we do some exam preparation and other things, towards the end of Marketing Cloud, and introduce to other concepts within there. We're setting you up for 2 certifications in Marketing Cloud, which are the email specialist, Marketing Cloud email specialist, and the Marketing Cloud administrator certification. So those are the 2 certifications that you can expect to study for. And we give you vouchers for those certifications, right? 50% off vouchers for those certifications as well. So that's great. So you have access to that, so that, you can add those 2 certifications onto your toolkit. So any other questions? Great question. And if there's anything else, we're happy to answer it. We'll keep checking in the group and make sure that throughout the day, if there are any other questions, we'll answer those to the best of our knowledge. But find us, send us a message, book an appointment with us. And again, there's no question that's silly. We'd like to answer anything, and it's sometimes you just maybe don't know what you don't know. So even if you just want to book it with us and talk and be like, okay, let's explain this Marketing Cloud again. We're happy to do that and talk to you about that and start from the beginning. So
it's always kind of like, I've got one question, and then it's kind of like, I've got another question. I've got because and that's sometimes you need that person, don't you, to kind of bounce off of and kind of go, oh, actually, well, what about this? Or it's not until you start actually having that one-on-one that you can really kind of get down to the nitty-gritty, isn't it? So for someone, we can't actually post comments while we're on live here, but we can certainly put our Calendly link in after the live finishes. And as Diane said, we love to chat. We're very friendly, and it is about kind of doing that deep dive and just finding out if this is the right fit for you. So it's very informal, but we'd love to chat to you.
Perfect. Okay, so I think that's it. We'll come back and keep checking, and if there's any more questions, we'll get back to you. And again, we'll go into the group and post our calendar links as well, so that you can feel free. We had extra time. I know Maria and I have reserved time, for the rest of this week to talk to anybody before the deadline. So we're happy to, book that call in this week and make sure that you can get in before that deadline if you want to. So
brilliant.
Okay. Well, great.
Thanks,
nice talking to you. All right.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.